Okay. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Hello. Thanks. Welcome to Houston Oasis. We're glad you're here today. Let's see. I want to start with at least mentioning one of our values. Let's do meaning comes from making a difference. Actually, I want to do another one. Human hands solve human problems, because that's one of my favorites. Okay, so today we're going to start with a community moment. We're going to have Kara and Kelly talk about Camp Quest. Then we're going to have our town hall. That's our main event, followed by lunch. And let's see here. I should mention... Let's see here, that we are a 501c3 organization, so please, we have the hat. We also have a bunch of fun little QR codes back here. We can't do what we do without help from our wonderful folks. Okay, let's see, without further ado, hopefully I'm not missing anything, I'm gonna invite Kelly and Kara up here. Hi, it's me again. I'm Kelly. I've been volunteering with Camp Quest. I started when my daughter was 8, so I didn't want to send her on her own, so I went as a counselor, and it was amazing. And it was forever ago, like 2013 or 14. And I did a couple years counselor, then I was a camp nurse, and then I took a break. They moved locations and time of year, so I wasn't able to go. And I started back again last summer as one of the camp nurses, and it was so much fun. I'm going again this year. I'm also on the board for Camp Quest Texas. Ms. Kara.
Hello, I have a lot of the same biography. I started as a volunteer also in 2013. I am also on the board of directors. Camp Quest is a super important part of so many kids and adults' lives. The amount of people that come back year after year is incredible. So it's like Oasis, it's a community. People find their lifelong friends. So I really enjoy being part of the organization, and we're going to tell you all about it.
Yes, Kara's on the board with me too. We're the Houston reps. Everyone else is like up in Dallas area. Yeah. All right, so Camp Quest Texas, fun, friends, and free thought basically sums it up. It is a week-long sleepaway camp. It will be June 14th to the 20th, so just a few months away. And the age groups are 8 to 17, right? And then at 18, you can be a counselor. They also have a Phoenix program when you're 16, 17 to learn leadership skills. All right. Camp Quest provides an educational adventure shaped by fun, friends, and free thought, featuring science, natural wonder, and humanist values. There are 8 locations, plus another one that's trying to get back on its feet after COVID. Some of the groups had to shut down with the lack of funding. You get some momentum, a lot of momentum with volunteers, and then if something comes along that breaks that momentum, it's hard to get going again. So I believe it's Arizona is trying to get back on their feet. Some of the camps have multiple sessions. Camp Quest Texas only does 1 week-long session. All right, so Camp by the Numbers for 2025. 572 campers participated across the nation. I think Camp Quest has about 100. We're one of the bigger ones. 158 new campers. So as you can see, there's a lot of returning campers every year. 339 returning campers. The 8 affiliates that I mentioned, a national camp, and 12 total camp sessions were held last year. So educational content areas, We have a lot of fun. We like being in nature. We do iNaturalist challenges amongst the counselors. We do lots of walking at camp. It is outside at a lake, and there's a lot of critical thinking and scientific inquiry as well. We'll talk about some of the programs that Camp Quest has, and it's a very inclusive camp. So LGBTQ plus, every flavor is represented at Camp Quest, and everyone is welcome and loved just the way they are. Some of the signature programs that we have, famous free thinkers, or moment of science instead of a prayer or moment of silence. So these camps are held at YMCA campgrounds because that's what's available. So there are some crosses and things around, some rather large crosses in the campfire area. However, we try to focus on the famous free thinkers, current scientists, and so our Phoenix, the counselors in training program, they will pick somebody and then talk to everybody about that person before a meal. Another signature program is the Socrates Cafe. This is a really powerful opportunity for the kids to explore philosophical questions. They usually break the camp into the older kids and the younger kids, and then there's a question proposed, such as, what is knowledge? And then the kids, one by one, you can't interrupt somebody. When you want to say something, you raise your hand and you get added to the list of who's speaking next. Everybody gets as much time as they want, and they can say whatever they want. They can talk about the question, or they can sometimes change the topic. And kids are really smart, and they really want to learn critical thinking and use those skills. And it's really amazing the conversations that they have and the experiences they can share. It's a very powerful opportunity. All right, humanist values in action. So humanist values guide us in how to apply the knowledge we gain through scientific inquiry and dialogue. And campers learn that they have personal responsibility to themselves and each other. They are very protective of each other and supportive. And it's really just a safe space for kids to be around like-minded people with nobody saying, but God, did you pray? It's just a really safe space to talk about what's going on in your life, what you're concerned about. Social justice is big, especially nowadays with all the hatred that's going on. So it's a great opportunity for kids to feel included and kind of normalize their religious beliefs too. Camp Quest ignited a confidence in my son that was immediately noticeable the moment I picked him up from camp that first year. That was a quote from a parent. A special kind of thought process and action is needed. If we want humanist advocacy efforts to continue into the future, the humanist and atheist movement must broaden itself to reach non-theists of all ages. So we don't shy away from any topics at Camp Quest. There's also a session called Ask a Grown-Up, and the kids can submit questions. We do filter the questions. Not all of them get answered, but we talk about hard topics, and we share feelings, which, kids aren't allowed to talk about things like death and, or something awful that happened. A lot of teachers and parents will shy away from those topics, but we try to, talk about what comes up. All right, your turn.
All right, so sort of adding on to what Kelly was saying, I know that definitely my favorite part of Socrates Cafe is all of the new questions that get introduced because of that exact reason. The kids feel free to finally say, hey, this is my podium. I'm going to talk about this topic that nobody else wants me to talk about, or I'm never around my peers who agree with me. I'm usually around Christianity or whatever it is that makes them feel like they can't talk about their views. So that's definitely my favorite part. So we are, as we said, volunteers. The organization would be nothing without us, and we would like to inspire some of y'all to potentially be volunteers, or maybe donate, or send your own child, grandchild, nibbling, neighbor, somebody. Yes, if you know a child between the age of 8 and 17 who would like to go to summer camp, this is an incredible opportunity. It is very difficult to find summer camps that aren't some version of a church camp or through a school or some other organization. So that's what we're here to do, is try to get you involved any way we can. So as a volunteer, I definitely have enjoyed a lot of different aspects. For this person, they like to see the impact on the children. I'm kind of selfish. I enjoy going to have community with my other adults who feel the same way I do. So these are some of the stats. We have, as Kelly said, the largest group. It's about 100 kids. Some of the other camps are like 20 to 30. So, of course, Texas is big. We get a lot of people that come. But these are the numbers for all of the Camp Quests from 2025. So this is a quote from a camper who very much enjoyed camp. I'm not going to read it to y'all. And this is the information for specifically our camp. Like Kelly said, it's going to be mid-June. Possum Kingdom Lake is about an hour west of Dallas. Takes about roughly 4 hours to get there from Houston. The drive is fine. It's 45. It's not beautiful, but the destination is lovely. This is a really nice section of the lake. If any of y'all are familiar with the Red Bull freediving event that happens up there at Hell's Gate, they put a platform out and people do like insane dives from the cliff. There is actually an event where we take the kids out there and we hike all the way up to where they put the platform, and it's really cool. So this year's theme is going to be the Rainbow Connection, and I'm assuming we'll have rainbow colored shirts. It's a good guess. All right, so as mentioned before, there's a pontoon boat trip to an island that involves hiking. That's the one where we go see where the cliff divers go. And in addition to that, I mean, horseback riding, zip lining, archery. I don't even know if archery made the list. Archery. So the YMCA does host a lot of the events, the ones that I just listed. Like, we don't bring our own horses or boats. So that's a really nice way for the volunteers to get to kick back and enjoy one of the best benefits as being a volunteer, which is going to summer camp for free. I get myself on the schedule for every single thing. I want to go on the boats, the canoes, the horses, the zip lining. I'm doing all of it. And you can also submit your own program ideas. This bottom photo, that one, that's me right there doing yoga. Yes. And so if you've got a passion and you've got something you want to teach the kids or practice or do, you're more than welcome to. This gentleman here next to me wearing a dress, he loves painting miniatures. So every year he brings miniatures and all his paints, and he teaches the kids how to make like little D&D figurines and stuff. So if you've got a passion and you want to teach the next generation, you are welcome to. This is our QR code if you would like to join us this summer.
Yes, this goes to our Camp Quest Texas website, so you can register campers or even just find out more information. There's also the volunteer application, and if you just want to throw us some money, we'll take it. So, yeah, so we do camper scholarships, and we want to try and get as many kids there as we can. So if you know anyone, tell them about us. Yes. Excellent question. Okay, let's see. What is it? 900, but right now it's still early bird, I think, till the end of the month. Yes, we talked about it in the board meeting. You weren't there. I think through the end of the month, it's $850, which is a great price for a week-long summer camp. Any other questions? Yes. It's an overnight sleepaway. You're there from Saturday to well, the kids are there Sunday to Saturday. The volunteers are there Saturday to Saturday. Mm-hmm. We probably should raise the price, but we want kids to go, so. Yes, Pete? There are not in Texas, no. Good question. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, y'all. We're going to be taking a quick relaxation, calm coffee break, and then we'll come back after, I think, 10 minutes. Somebody correct me. Yeah, 10 minutes. All right. I not being loud enough? Yeah. I'm just going to say that we're... Okay. All right, everybody. Let's find our seats. All right. So we're going to be doing the town hall. We're going to introduce some of our new board members. And to start us off, I'm going to invite Jennifer, our president, up to the mic. Jennifer.
Thank you, Georgia. Can everybody hear me? All righty. So want to just introduce the board members again. We've got Georgia. Tim is the treasurer. I'm the president. Alexis is not feeling well today, so she's on the board. Kelly is our secretary. We have Jacob Atchison at the back is our vice president. And who am I missing? Did I get everybody? So, nope. Yep. So I'm president, vice president Jake, treasurer Tim, secretary Kelly, and then we have Alexis and Georgia, who are kind of help us out with everything else. So welcome to Oasis. I'm going to do a quick Oasis 101. We have some new folks today, so I want to tell you about how we started. And then we'll work into kind of where we're going. So Houston Oasis was founded in 2012 by a man named Mike Aus. He was a former Lutheran pastor, and he became a former Lutheran pastor because he outed himself on an MSNBC talk show as actually not believing in God. So the congregation of which he was the pastor of at that point, had a little issue with that, understandably. So he and some parishioners left their church they were part of, and they wanted to have a community still. They just didn't want to do religion. So they put Oasis together, and they had a board, and Mike was the executive director of Oasis, and so he would a lot of times give the talks. It was, as a former pastor, he was used to whipping up sermons, and I'm pretty sure that he probably even looked at some former sermons and kind of looked at how he could make them secular. So he did that. We had plenty of talk. When I first started going to Oasis, I think in like 2013 or 14, and so there were lots of talks about religion, how we didn't like it or what we thought was wrong with it, and so there was some of that. And then Mike left. I'm not even sure of the year now, but he left to go do other things. And then we just have the board, and we have a committee that basically is in charge of booking speakers to talk. So here's our challenge. We're really doing something kind of unique. Religion has been a part of almost every culture for thousands of years, right? There's a Jewish calendar, right? We're in year, 5,500 something? Some of you from Jewish, yeah. There's a calendar for the religion of Islam. There's a calendar for Christians. And the reason I mention that is because a lot of what folks talk about at church or synagogue or mosque revolves around that calendar. And usually those calendars revolve around what? The religious figure or the religion that they're a part of, right? So they also have a built-in theme, right? They're always talking about their religion and the aspects, and they have their own sources. They have their religious texts that they use as sources to have their talks and activities and all that kind of stuff. So the question is, where's our calendar? What's our source? Right? So, especially since we're getting away from kind of talking about religion so much, we're trying to figure out how can we, what is the theme of our group? What is it? You know, we have our mission. We want to be a secular community. We want to have people come and be able to be in community with each other. We want people to be able to do volunteer work and help out their community. We want to encourage the development of the people in our group emotionally, educationally. You know, we want to help develop the whole person. We want you all to learn something new. But where do we find the speakers? So we're really lucky. We have some folks in Oasis that can speak on different topics. We have Andy and Sarah Boyd, both former professors. We have Jenny Gillespie, who's a science educator. So we do have some resources within our group, but we also need to have folks from outside of the group come to speak. And I'll be honest with you, we're a little hamstrung by the fact that we can't pay a whole lot. And a lot of nonprofit speakers do want to be paid, especially if they're part of it. You know, if you're a board of a nonprofit and you've got the president of your board going out to give speeches somewhere, you don't want them doing that for free. You know, they're using their time and resources, and so they're going to want some remuneration for that. So, so that's one of our challenges. Well, so we have several challenges, like how do we book, who do we book, how much does it cost to book? So that's what we're looking forward to. So what the board has, and the programming committee has kind of come up with this idea that we're going to try to use our national and cultural calendar as kind of a touchstone to help us develop, so that we'll have some themes to look for that will help us figure out, well, so obviously June is Pride Month, so we could have some speakers come to speak about Pride. February is Black History Month. We could have some speakers come to speak about Black history. Earth Day is coming up. We have, you know, we can talk about, so there's just, with the different calendar, I mean, there's Cat Day, there's Donut Day, there's all kinds of stuff, right? So if we are looking to our national and cultural calendar, we're hoping that we can get some ideas of who to have speak. And also, if we get in the habit of having those speakers in line with the calendar, then it matches up with what y'all are experiencing in your everyday life. One of the things that frustrated me about church was that it seemed like no matter what was going on in our national life, they were still only focused on, you know, the religious calendar that they hewed to, right? So, so what I like about this idea is that we can really reflect what's going on in our community with the talks that we give. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm just letting you forward. That's kind of what our goal is for this year, is to try and do a little bit more of that. Alexis is the chair of the programming committee. We're also going to try and really work well into next year for our calendar, instead of just kind of thinking, you know, January to December. We really want to get scheduled well into the next year, so that when the new board, you know, when new board members come on, when new people come on, they're not all of a sudden tasked with trying to schedule something on the fly. There's already some stuff in there for them to ease into their responsibilities. So we're not trying to schedule it, people are not trying to schedule events in January that they just found out about like 3 weeks prior. So, and we're hoping that that will also smooth things out with our programming. So we want y'all to look forward to the talks that we give. We want y'all to be aware of the calendar and what's coming up. If you have ideas, if you're looking at the calendar and you see something and you think you know somebody that would be a great speaker, or have an idea for a talk, feel free to email us at speak@houstonoasis.org, and we will try to contact those folks and get them on our calendar. So that's Houston Oasis 101. We're now, also want to shout out real quick. So we've had several locations. We've landed here. We've been here, almost 3 years now, I guess? Something like that. We're liking it here. It's a great space. They're very welcoming for us. We made it through the pandemic. Alexis Potaman was president for like 5 years while we got through all that. And I want to shout out to her for getting us through that really difficult time, and we ended up coming back. Our membership has changed over the years, as many groups do, but we are here. We've got a good core group, and we're looking forward to moving forward with y'all, and we want to provide a good program for you and do everything we can to make this a good value for you to show up. Oasis survives by having not just community, but good program. It's not either or. We need both, right? So we're going to try and do everything we can to make that possible. So we're going to now have we're going to have Tim come up and the other board members, and we're going to talk about our different committees. Tim's going to tell you, give you an idea, give a financial thumbnail of what's going on with our finances. And then at the very end, we will have a question and answer period. Be nice. And so let's have the board members up.
Hello, everybody. Oh, yeah, I think we finally caught up. Okay, this is all the stuff Jennifer was talking about, so we are just going to zoom past this into my slide. Financials. In case people were here last year for the 2025 town hall, you may have seen different numbers in the 2025 numbers. 2024, that was, even now, we are before the filing times for federal tax filing, so numbers are tentative until they are actually provided to IRS. So we can see our normal revenue from 2024 to 2025 is, our total revenue was $9,084 less than the previous year. That's not great. But expenses were also brought down. And as Jennifer was saying, right, we have done a lot of cost cutting in our speakers, and that's about the only place that we can. So now we're basically at the bare minimum. So if you want to see more speakers, you will have to provide more revenue and more donations so that we can book people, especially like, national level speakers. They have to travel. We can't put that whole expense on them. So we see a change in net assets. I'm not going to go over all these numbers; they're real boring. But we see a positive of $3,561 in change in net assets. I can speak to why there's a positive, even though we had much less revenue. That's basically because we liquidated, assets. That's revenue for when it got liquidated, but that doesn't mean it's, donations coming in. It's going to get turned right back into something else like stocks or financial instruments. Okay. And I'll take all the questions from y'all during our Q&A. But to our next slide, here's our change in assets over the year. Again, we have, we're 501c3. We have funds from, previous groups also in our financial portfolio. So assets increasing doesn't mean we actually have cash. It just means we have assets ready to turn to cash. But we want to avoid touching those, obviously, as long as possible. And we have things that we cannot touch, like a building fund. It can only be used for a building. And those funds will stay there until we, get a building. But there's an increase over the year of $22,789. Now we're going to be going through our different committees. Pick up the mic, Joe. Do you want me to talk about AV? Yeah. Do we want an AV volunteer to talk about AV? Or do you want me to slaughter your your responsibilities? The AV team, listen, Kevin, Charles, Baroon, William, they're all back there doing this setup every single week that we have AV set up. Please give them a round of applause. They are here. They pick up storage items from storage at 9 a.m., guys, well before everybody else comes here. They're doing setup. they're setting out chairs also, and then helping the musicians get set up and everything. So they do an incredible amount of work, and clean up, take all that stuff back. So I think we're good on volunteers. Do y'all have everything covered right now? Okay, but just keep in mind, if that's something you're interested in doing, reach out to the board at houstonoasis.org if you have experience in that kind of thing. Coffee team. All of the food out there, our Oasis Cafe, that is also run by a group of volunteers. Tish is our lead on that. Tish, stand up, please. Yeah. She's done an amazing job. We have a good group of volunteers who go there. Again, they have to go to storage and pick up that stuff 9 o'clock, before everybody else. Come, start the coffee, set out stuff, get everything set up. There is a commitment. Please reach out. Tish, do you want them to contact you, or do you want to contact the board? I guess they can. And we'll forward it over to you? Yeah, we'll send it. If you are interested in volunteering for that would be much appreciated. And yeah, I have anything more to say about that. We need the coffee, guys. I can get rid of everything else. I'm not getting rid of the coffee. Okay, kids room team. Georgia, do you want to speak on that?
Test? Okay. Hi, I am Georgia. I run the kids room. Let's see here. It says our mission is to provide a safe and fun space for kids to socialize, learn, and play during Sunday gatherings. So I am the team lead. We used to be a committee, but we're not anymore. I'm just running the room. I have a group of some super awesome people working with our kids. We provide arts and crafts. We do story times. We do a lot of games. Let's see here. All of us are background checked. Some of us are certified to work with kids. Actually, my daughter is as well, Annie. Let's see here. We do welcome donations. Because of some of the cutbacks, we did have to sort of cut back on some of the stuff. And actually, I wanted to say thank you very much to the volunteers who are picking up our supplies. That used to be our kids' room workers. Since we've had to cut back on our pay, our volunteers have been bringing our supplies. So that is greatly, greatly appreciated because that used to be the job of our workers. So if you should want to donate, please do. And that's all I got. Yeah, thank you. Oh, there's a question.
No questions right now.
No questions?
No questions right now. We'll get to all the...
About supply. Was it?
Oh, is it about supplies?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
about supplies.
That's an easy one. Go ahead.
Apologies. Go ahead. We could always use whatever you can think of, but like paper towels, like it says up there, hand sanitizer is a big one. Crayons, paper. What else?
Is there anything off limits?
Anything off limits? Yeah,
We have to
that's
carry all that
true.
stuff, so it can't be something that's really different than everything else, unless it's like not anything giant from Costco. If you want to bring like a small box of something, yeah. What about foods? Like, just keep it to
Goldfish, anything that's like,
a possible allergen avoid.
yeah, nothing with a possible allergy, yeah. So gluten, no, not, well,
What is goldfish?
yeah, goldfish has gluten in it, so.
No peanuts.
Peanuts. Peanuts is a big one not to bring. Sorry, I should have been better prepared. Yeah, and goldfish is usually a pretty friendly. As a former teacher, I can definitely say that we had goldfish in the room. That was one of my go-to for my students. And if we had a student with an allergy, we were aware of it. So if you do bring your kiddos, please let us know of an allergy so we can prepare for that, or at least we can keep certain things out of the room. Of course, there are no peanuts in the room. Anyways, all right, that's all I got. Any other questions? First, well, no questions, never mind. All right.
No touching, no touching. All right. Moving on, programming. Jennifer? That is helpful.
All righty. So our mission on the program committee is to provide engaging, diverse, interesting, and interactive speakers for Sunday gatherings. The team lead is Alexis Podeman, and you can reach the programming committee at speak@houstonoasis.org. We meet once a month to talk about our calendar. We have Excel spreadsheet where we plan out our speakers. I want to really tout the program committee because all of our committees and all of our volunteers are just so critical. And the program committee is the seed that develops, that germinates the program from which everything else we do flows. We don't have Oasis unless we have program. So it's a very important committee. It's also very challenging. Like I said, we are trying to find speakers, and we have to get in contact with them in plenty of time. We have to kind of make sure that they're, vet them a bit to make sure they're appropriate for our group. We need to find out if they're going to, need to be paid or not. We send out a contract for them so we know so they know what they're supposed to do when they're here and how they're supposed to, we don't tell them what to say, but we have some guidelines for our speakers. And we're also trying to plan out several, months, hopefully, at least a month or two in advance. And now that we're trying to look even farther ahead in the calendar, we're trying to do that even more in advance. And sometimes that's also difficult. Sometimes I think, oh, well, if we want somebody in February, well, let's just call them in, November, and that should be good. Well, some people don't want to plan out that far in advance. So it's a very kind of time-intensive job, and the members of the program committee are really working very hard to try and get us some good speakers. All of our speakers have to be aligned with our values, so that's one of the things that we're looking at when we're trying to find speakers. So that's the program committee. We do need help with program. It helps to have more rather than fewer, so if you're interested in doing that, also helps to have some technical skills, because we do, like I said, have our spreadsheet, and we have to be able to put things in that, and so it helps to know how to work all that stuff. So that's programming. Oh, and I think we're trying to get, like I said, we're trying to get things scheduled through at least March of next year. So here are the guidelines. If you think you might want to speak, we have to remember our core values. People are more important than beliefs. Reality is known through reason. Meaning comes from making a difference. Human hands solve human problems. Be accepting and be accepted. Guideline 2, no personal attacks. And remember that we are a non-partisan organization. And we also try to keep our talks family friendly. Sometimes that's been a problem. And then we also have a time limit. If you want to give a community moment, that's short, 5 to 10 minutes. Same, speaker guidelines apply. And a main speaker talk usually is 20 to 25 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer. We also, of course, the program committee also helps with Pete Livencott's help, schedules our musicians. So they have to, yes, yay, Pete. So that's also part of the program, and also scheduling where we're going to have lunch, and so I think that's everything. If you, like I said, if you have an idea, you can email speak@houstonoasis.org, and I'll be happy to answer questions later.
So we have a care team, although I think team is doing a lot of heavy lifting, right? Isn't it just pretty much you and Susan? Yeah. So right now it's pretty much just Jennifer and Susan, but our care team, we support Oasis members during major life events, providing a secular alternative to religious ceremonies for marriage, birth, death, etc. So we connect members with others in the community for support during times of crisis. So just if anyone is going through any time of crisis and wants needs supplies or needs someone to reach out to, you can contact us at care@houstonoasis.org. Remember, you are not alone.
Marketing. Oh. That's a discussion, I think, for our Q&A. Let me move on with this, and then we'll come back to that. So our marketing team is also, as all our teams are, super important. Y'all don't know what's going on unless we market it, unless we put it on our socials and on our calendar. And it's also a very time-intensive job. And I really want to give a shout out to our two major marketing team members, Rachel Sears and Winter Storm. So Rachel develops the graphics that y'all see on social media. She does this in addition to being a full-time teacher of kids of a certain age. And the more activities and programs that we do, the more graphics she has to generate, right? So that's a real challenge for her to do in her spare time. So I just really want to thank Rachel. Like, really, if we ever get to a point where we're going to pay somebody, you're on the list. Well, you do a great job, and I just want to thank you so much. And Winter also, she does all our Facebook stuff, so she does a great job with that. We're also on Meetup, on Blue Sky, so all of our marketing stuff but again, that's generated from program. So we do program, and then any other activities that also need to be put on the socials. The marketing team does that. We don't have a TikTok. No, we do have. We have Instagram. Yeah. So we have, and you're creating Instagram reels too, right? Yeah.
Oh
so,
my, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't know how many people here are posting on social media, but if you have to switch platforms every single time with the same content, you're just duplicating work. So
I mean,
please.
a lot of nonprofits and companies literally hire people only to do social media. Like, there's a team, there's like one person or two people, and that's their whole job, is to put things on all the social platforms and generate the copy for it and the graphics and all that kind of stuff. Huge job. So again, thank you so much to our marketing team. And if you are good with graphics, or if you also want to maybe help out with that, but please let us know. And that will help us out. The more people we can have doing it, that helps. And we do keep in touch with each other and are working on making sure that everything gets out in time. So hope that helps.
This is Kelly.
Okay, there's a green light. Okay. So for the volunteer committee, our mission is to provide opportunities for Oasians to volunteer with other nonprofit organizations to support the greater Houston community. And part of volunteering is also increasing visibility of secular people, that we're not evil, and that we like to do good as well. I'm currently the team lead. And if you have any questions or ideas of things that we can add to volunteering, you can email us at volunteer@houstonoasis.org, or you can come talk to me. But if it's in an email, then more likely it's going to happen. So email is good. We meet monthly-ish to discuss ideas and to finalize our plans for upcoming events. We organize at least one volunteer opportunity each month. We try to do a couple a month. The Houston Food Bank is one of our biggest things that we do. It's really easy to go volunteer there. It's always feels productive. They're very organized. And kids can go 6 and up, so we like that. Project Cure, we have an upcoming event on April 25th, about 2 weeks away. And that the kids have to be 16 and up to help with that one. But we sort through medical supplies, and those medical supplies are sent to third world countries and countries in need. So it's a great organization to support. We also do our regular blood drives for Gulf Coast Regional Blood Bank, and our next one is on May 3rd. It's during the Sunday gathering. I think I duplicated, sorry. But here's the upcoming stuff. We also have, we're participating in the American Empathy Project. This large infographic on your right is we're going to benefit the unstably housed LGBTQIA plus youth in the area. So we're working with the Montrose Center and Grace Place and Tony's Place to do a big volunteer event where we assemble 1,000 snack bags. These snack bags are going to be given to the benefiting orgs, and then they'll distribute to the youth in the area. And then to further our impact, we're going to do a food drive. The food drive, there's very specific items the orgs requested. Because the kiddos are unstably housed, they may be couch surfing, may not have access to a kitchen. So they requested like mac and cheese the cups that are microwavable, and instant ramen. And then we're also going to take the items that we're putting in the snack bags. We'll take donations of those so we can hopefully do even more than 1,000. So the things that are going to go in there, we're using a quart-sized Ziploc bag. We're going to put a bottle of water, an individual bag of chips, and then a sweet treat, like a little bag of the famous Amos cookies, some kind of sweet treat, and then maybe a little fun-size candy bar. So that's what's going to be going into the bag, so we'll take donations of those as well. We'll meet here in this room on May 2nd in the afternoon from 2 to 4 and put those bags together. We're really excited for this opportunity. We applied for a grant and we got it to fund this event. We also received a donation from a member in the community, and so that will allow us to make the 1,000 bags. The unstably housed youth are having a really hard time right now. The kids that are being served at these different organizations, one of them, they said that they're serving 4 times more kids than they were the previous year. So the need is gradually rising, and it's really unfortunate. So even though this is a small impact, hopefully we can help this community. So we work closely with Bibi from the Montrose Center, the community organizer contact person, and this was her recommendation. So we're excited to help out. So in previous years, there's been Secular Week of Action. This American Empathy Project has kind of taken place of the Secular Week of Action. So we were preparing for Secular Week of Action, though, so that's why we have a lot of events going on at the end of this month, beginning of next month. Okay.
So for monetary donations, how will they, is that QR code right there, or is
the QR code is to our meetup event.
Okay.
We haven't decided if we're going to take monetary donations. I need to talk to you about that, actually.
I always accept money,
Mr.
guys.
Treasurer. So TBD on that, but the QR codes for all these events are how you can sign up to attend. For Project Cure, we need like 15 people, and so far I think it's me and Abhishek. So we had previously planned this event in January, but
was it a freeze that was happening? We had to cancel it. Yeah, and then it ended up being no big deal, so frustrating. But anyway, so if we can get help with that Project Cure shift, I feel like if we don't fill the slots, they're going to stop making shifts for us. So we really do want to fill those. So the QR code goes to the meetup event, yeah. And then in there is the link to register directly with Project Cure because they need a waiver on file to volunteer since it's in a warehouse.
It goes by fast, guys. You are busy the second after you've gotten your, what's the onboarding? You do a little onboarding
Yeah.
and then you're immediately thrown into it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. But
We go
yeah,
grab
they
lunch
got
sometimes afterwards. Like, it's a fun
Yes.
time.
H Mart probably.
H-Mart,
To the
yeah.
food court.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we did last time. So it's good time. And then the blood drive, that QR code goes to signing up for a time slot. And then year in review. Sorry. Yeah. Book drive. The book drive. It was on that previous slide, and
It's
I
at the top.
skipped over it. Sorry, Jennifer. You talk about the book drive.
So one of my cousin's relatives is a teacher in Pasadena ISD for a kindergarten class. She's now, it's a bigger class than it was last year. Last year was 18 students. This year it's 30. It's a dual language class. So we are collecting books, children's books, through the month of April. And then I will take them to her, and she will distribute them in May so the kids can take these home for the summer. So we're encouraging everybody to, to either buy some new books, hit up, your favorite bookstore, buy some readers, history books, picture books, books in Spanish, board books. Those are the books for babies that have the thick page because toddlers like to chew on them. But these little 5-year-olds know that those are for babies, so they don't like them. So anyway, please bring those. We have a bag or a box at the back, and we'll be, like I said, we'll be collecting those through the month of April, and then I'll take them over to my cousin, and she will give them out. Last year, the kids all wrote little thank you notes to us. It was so sweet. These are kids in a book desert. A lot of them don't have any books at home. So this is our opportunity to bring literacy and help bring literacy into their lives, to water that book desert.
You mentioned library book sales, right?
Oh, yes. A lot of libraries, your public libraries have book sales. That's a great way to find some, used books that are really very inexpensive, and it helps your local library. Yes, it goes through, the last Sunday is May 3rd to bring the books.
Okay.
Look at us.
What's that?
I said, look at us.
So here's just some pictures from this previous year. And we've got the Solstice Party, which was a combined event with Houston Atheists and other secular groups in the area that wanted to join. Jesus made an appearance, and
Brought us some good food.
We have a Pride booth, the Pride Beyond Belief, which is also a combined effort with Houston Atheists, Shore, and Secular Houston to let people know that we're here and we are inclusive. And there's Mr. Will and his crew doing a trash pickup. That was Secular Week of Action last year. Food bank and blood drive. So thank you for all those who participated in our fun events last year. We're excited about this year.
You will not have to volunteer alone, folks.
I'm just going to say something real quick about the American Empathy Project. I am so proud of us for doing that, and I'm so proud of Kelly and Brian. Brian was the one who wrote the grant, wrote the application for the grant from the American Humanist Association, which is the organization that gave us the grant for us to be able to do this project. It's something really different, and I'm so glad that we were able to partner with the Montrose Center. It's really important. we use this space, we rent this space, and so we will really want to give back to that community because they have been so good to us, and this was just a perfect opportunity for us to do that. And so we're grateful to the American Humanist Association. I'm grateful to Kelly and Brian for pulling all that together. Let's just give them a little round of applause. That's really fantastic.
And we are an official affiliate. Is it an affiliate of the American Humanist Association now? So we will show up on their website, guys. Tell your friends. Yes.
Also, that event is, our American Empathy event is on Mobilize because American Humanist Association had all the grant recipients put their events on Mobilize. So we may meet more people in the area that sign up to help out with our event.
Does everybody know what Mobilize is?
Oh, sorry.
You may want to explain.
Okay, so Mobilize is like, it's kind of like Meetup where you can put events on there to attend, but it's activism centric. And so.
No pickleball, guys. It's all helping people.
Yes, it's all helping people. There's oftentimes organizations will use Mobilize to like advertise their webinars about whatever's coming up, like Planned Parenthood uses it. Lots of orgs use it. It's too expensive for us to use it for everything, but we were able to use Mobilize, which broadens our audience, our reach, broadens our reach a lot. So it's exciting.
Social committee. Who's going to be talking about social committee? The team lead is vacant, so.
We need a social committee. And
We want more stuff to do, basically.
yeah, well, we need
Volunteers.
We need volunteers to help plan events and track events, take pictures at events, and the board is pretty much tapped out at this point. Like we've got all of us have
Multiple committees that
we're
we're
all
on.
involved with different committees and things like that. So we really, if you want more social events, please feel free to step up and talk with us about what you might like to do to help chair something like that and get some events on the calendar. Whoever does social activities need to be able to think about when they're going to be, what is there a cost to going, reserving a spot. We need to get it on our calendar. We need to put it on our socials. If you're somebody who can generate some graphics for your event, that would be helpful. That way we don't have to put even more on Rachel. But social stuff is important for us. It's what helps us build our community and helps us to be together and learn different things. There's so much stuff that Houston has to offer. We've had talks about that before, and we would love to just experience that more together. A few of us went to the Botanic Gardens last Saturday. That was very nice, very pleasant, good to be with each other. I think we're hoping on doing a beach day coming up. But again, we need somebody that can help us out with that. Everybody on the board has a full-time job, except for me. So they're doing everything in addition to this, and I'm just trying to keep up, even without having a full-time job. So
Even just if you have an event idea, you can email social@HoustonOasis.org. I mean, that's something that helps. Like, get the juices flowing. We can actually start planning something that people are interested in. Otherwise, we're thinking of something and then presenting it to y'all, and then nobody's really interested in it. Then that's time wasted. But we can't guarantee that we will be able to accommodate all requests, though. So. Okay, boring stuff. Documentation. Board, of course, can be contacted at board@HoustonOasis.org for any questions. Regardless, if you don't know who to contact, like a committee or a person, then just shoot it to us and we'll get to go into the right place. Our board meetings are held virtually over Zoom on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m., unless we announce something different. But we'll let y'all know well ahead of time. If you go to HoustonOasis.org, which I'm not going to pull up right now, we have a resources tab on that website, and it has a lot of files. The code of conduct, our Facebook group guidelines, speaker guidelines, volunteer handbook. We also have a binder, a paper binder in the back that has a lot of that stuff, including our financial reports. So if you don't use the internet, there's a binder back there that you can flip through as well. Okay, this QR code goes to our Linktree. Linktree is just a website that just hosts a bunch of links. And there's our Meetup, our Facebook, I mean, pretty much everything that we do. This is how you stay connected and plugged into everything we're doing. So, and you can subscribe to a lot of stuff there, like on our website, there's a Google Calendar. You can say, add to my calendar, and you just click that thing, and it throws it into your personal calendar. If you have questions about setting this up, go ahead, email us or talk to me or Abhishek or anyone who looks like they know how to use a phone, and we will help you set that up. I see Susan raising her hand already. And again, just reiterating, we are 501c3. Everything you give is pretty much, tax deductible. We are 100% run by our volunteers, right? We do not get grants from anyone else unless you go through your workplace and Benevity. They are a giving platform that can, that a 501c3 organizations are listed on. They can match your donations, so that's good. If you, again, questions about that, let me know, and I'll tell you how to talk to your HR about that. And on the back of your pamphlets, there's a bunch of QR codes for various digital ways of giving. Those are very useful, but we also have a hat in the back that you can drop money or checks into. We also started a page on Zephy, which I will get a QR code or update the link to that. That is another giving platform, but it's different in that it lets you, the credit card fees that are charged or the fees that are charged for donation, that comes out of your donation. Zephy gives you the option to pay that fee as well. So 100% then goes to Oasis, which is very useful. And I like. Now we are in Q&A. Let's
Hold on, Red.
Nope, Jennifer's gonna say something first.
A way to kill two birds with one stone is to buy Oasis merch. If you have an Oasis shirt that you can wear to a volunteer event or to a social event or just out when you're getting your groceries or something, you'd be surprised. Like, we had somebody ask about us at the Botanic Garden. Want to know, like, oh, well, what do y'all do? Like, what is Houston Oasis? So that's a marketing opportunity, and we also get a little cut of whatever we sell. Whatever shirts and all that kind of stuff are sold. So I think we still have a bonfire.
Yeah, bonfire.
Account.
It should be a link on our
So if
donate page.
If you were just dying for a shirt or something like that,
Or if you have an idea for a T-shirt, let me know.
yeah. So feel free to get one of those.
One of the shirts is our core value, human hands solve human problems. And that would be a great one to wear at volunteer events, to share the word.
Yes.
So kids' room thing I forgot to mention. It is down the hall.
In room 111, right?
In room 111. And if you'd like to work the kids' room, it is a job once a week. Let us know. We can get you background checked. And yeah, so we need more people, at least one or two more.
We are now in QA.
Hello. Hi. Stand up. My name's Pete. I help book the music here at Oasis.
Hi, Pete.
I met my wife here at Oasis. She's the kids' room lady. You may have just seen her 10 seconds ago.
She has a name.
Georgia. Yeah, sorry. That being said, I am looking for help with the music. So if anybody is interested in learning that chaos, please come talk to me, because Georgia and I have plans to move away from Houston. She starts her practicum.
Turn off his mic right now.
In 2027, so I can do it from afar. I can. It is something I can do remotely, but I would rather have somebody with feet on the ground here, and I'm open the book and the whole process and everything, all that kind of stuff. It's not really a committee. It's me really hunting and gathering musicians. It's tough. So as much as we like to plan ahead, things happen even day of. Okay, that's
Pete,
my
how
PSA.
can they contact you?
Less of a question, more of a please contact board@houstonoasis.org. And send your information to them if that's something you're really interested in. It's mostly going to see a lot of concerts and going, yeah, we'd love to have these people, talk to them. Or hearing from the folk here saying, I really love this musician. I'm like, okay, here's the website. Oh yeah, that website is helpmegig.com. So if there's somebody that you want to have heard here, I heard we have a gamelan group that might want to play. I think that would be fun. That's today's thought process. Anyways, please, 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 board@houstonoasis.org and helpmegig.com. That's what books here. Thank you.
I was
Thank you
gonna say
so
we're-
much, Pete.
That wasn't a question. I'm
We're
so sorry.
planning on moving probably summer of 2027 because I start practicum for graduate school for art therapy in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So, yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. Mine ties in a little bit with, oops, how do I do it? This way? No, put it. Thank you. Okay. How to do things. Tech sessions to show people how to
Hold a
do
mic.
some of these things.
We'll start with holding a mic, guys.
And it didn't help that Pete says the chaos of the Pete says the chaos of the music whole thing, and when you talk about the different committee meetings, you said meetings, but are they all Zoom meetings, or are some of them in person?
Yeah, they tend to be remote, unless the group decides to meet in person. They're going to be remote
And
for convenience.
yeah, I'm just learning how to get into some of these things is still challenging for me.
Email
And
Tim@HoustonOasis.org. I'll help you through
come
it.
on, I mean, it's not like just
Come
one
talk
question.
in person to Tim@Houston.
It's not one question. It's, are all of the technical things on the same system, or do you have different apps for different purposes? And could you just have a workshop sometime?
Sure, if people are
Even
interested.
if I'm the only one that shows up, please.
Yeah, no, that's. If we need to meet at a cafe or something, and people bring their laptops, I'll help everybody run through, using Google Meet, Zoom, Discord, all those things we multiple platforms. So did anybody hear the question? Like, it sounds like a social event that we need a plan for everyone to learn how to use social media.
I mean, Nancy has volunteered to help me
Yes.
at another event. Well, that's going to, it would be nice to have something dedicated to
Okay.
organized questions.
If you are interested in this kind of thing, email is it events or social that we're using? social@houstonoasis.org, so I can get kind of an idea of a head count, and then I'll talk to y'all and we'll kind of plan something and get a Saturday.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And Kelly's, of course, making notes. That's a good secretary right there.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? Many.
You mentioned liabilities. Are you at liberty to say what that is? Or?
Our credit card. It is a liability because you have to pay it off.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Thanks.
No loans. We don't have any loans, guys.
Mine's more of a request. There's a lot of good information on these slides, especially for newcomers. Can it be put on the website?
Yeah. Why don't we just throw this whole town hall on the website under resources? Does that sound like a good idea? Yeah, we'll put it up there. Just first.
She had her hand up first.
Okay.
We're very order focused here, folks.
Speaking of resources, I was wondering if you guys make meeting notes for your board meetings, and if there's a way to get maybe to have a summarized write-up about what you guys talk about, because I like the town halls, and sometimes I want to check in with what's happening with the thing I come to on Sundays. And I was just wondering if that is also a resource that members can
Board
look
minutes? Yeah, I believe Are we posting board minutes online? I mean, we take them because we're
Or
a
minutes
board.
and notes, and, yeah.
But we do finalize the board. We have to vote on those in minutes, obviously. But then, yeah, I can make copies if people want them. Otter? No. No, minutes are public. Yeah, so I mean, we keep them, but we don't. That binder would go crazy. But yeah, I can print them out and start throwing them in that binder. We will cull them eventually because it'll be too many minutes.
Y'all ever consider doing days like where you play a documentary or something for discussion? So that may kind of like ease up things on the speakers, ease up things on the musicians. So play a documentary, have a discussion.
It would have to be a very short documentary, 30 minutes or less. But yes, we've done actually events where we've gone to see documentaries and then kind of had the discussions after that. Sunday, that is a little bit harder. We'd have to do like a multiple week of the documentary because they tend to be a little. Yeah, we do. Remember, the main talk's about 30 minutes, so.
No, I'm suggesting that the documentary, that the entire day or whatever the session that Sunday would be dedicated to that on an occasion, you know, like once a quarter or something. I don't know. It just seems like it could make things a little easier since there's a lot of feedback. Y'all are saying, hey, it's difficult to maintain the speaker schedule. Well, this could offer a break from that.
Yeah, I like the idea of doing like a clip or something of like, maybe from YouTube or something, of like speakers or ideas, and then us having a panel discussion. That'd be pretty interesting. And we've done panels before too, by the way. Like, if you have ideas for panels that you want to hear about. We did men's rights, men's health. And then immigrants' experience. So if you have any ideas, let us know.
I mean, I think for any really good documentary, you know, will go in any depth is going to be longer than what time we have. I mean, ostensibly, you know, if we had something that was 45 minutes, you know, because technically we have about an hour and a half here, and so you would have to have time to do the documentary, and you know, people want to talk about it. We probably wouldn't be able to have any music that day. So it would just really depend on the time. But we also could do is if y'all are really interested, is if we wanted to schedule like a movie night or something and doing it that way, and then but that would mean renting the room or having a place to do it. And that's a great way to get some good information and share it with the community. Is just to have like a movie night, and where we do a documentary or movie that we just stream ourselves here, you know. But again, so I just want to, you know, again reiterate that, you know, we pay for our room here. We typically pay for the kids' room. So those are two expenses. So anytime we use a space here, we have to pay for it. So that's just one of the considerations. Unless we can find another place to do it, like maybe a library or something like that, where we could rent a room for free and be able to have a way to project something like that. So I like the idea. I think there have been documentaries that I've watched at home and thought, oh, I wish some of my Oasis people were here with me. This would be so good. So yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, that's a good segue into my question, talking about the documentary. Let me start by pointing out that Oasis is kind of a top-down organization. The board, you know, organizes everything, does a lot of work. People come here and it's very focused on what happens here on a Sunday. The board organizes the presentations and everything. And yet humanism is a very ground-up kind of, it's grassroots. Humanism is very grassroots, right? And I think right now Oasis is a little bit lopsided in that respect. And it would benefit from having more grassroots input. And one way to do that is to have a mechanism for the general population here to self-organize events with some oversight, right? But rather than the board taking it on themselves to kind of organize everything, particularly here on Sundays, the board would still do the Sunday thing, but to have a mechanism for someone who wants to put on something, hold an event in their house, or organize, you know, a group to go to watch a new movie that's coming out, just all that kind of, just walk in the park, right? Any kind of organized event would just get
kind of like how we have a book club and they kind of run themselves. That's essentially, it's done.
Yeah, but the book club is regular, and
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about more like one-off events,
Yeah.
you know. But to have a formal mechanism which makes that very easy
Yeah.
to do, and everyone knows about it, and that would fill in a lot of stuff and create a lot of community.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, but it is like, even just advertising that, right? You have to get marketing involved for them to do the graphics, unless, you know, you're gonna do it or your group's gonna do it, that kind of thing. There's still so many moving puzzles. I'm not against it, though. I think we need more of it. People are willing to host, you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm sorry, that's loud. That's why we want to reinvigorate the social committee. So if we have so basically that would create a contact person. And if anybody wanted to do an event, you could just go through that contact person rather than having to go to the board or whatever. So that's basically what we're trying to do, is to allow the group to do more social events and, you know, allow more people to host.
But you still need that contact person, because like somebody coming off, you know, first couple times coming to Oasis may not understand the structure of advertising to other people that there's an event going on even, right? So just having one person there to be like, okay, yeah, sure, that's something you're interested in. Let me start tying all the strings together and get this event off the ground, right? Like understanding our metrics, understanding our code of conduct, and then helping them plan the event, or if they need, you know, it shouldn't be that much work, because in general, like you're saying, the person should kind of run with it.
And we also want to be inclusive, so that's one of the
and you gotta be
reasons why the
inclusive.
marketing thing is important. Like we don't want to run the risk of, you know, kind of, you know, event only going out to a few people, and then other people find out about it, and well, wait a minute, why didn't I hear about that?
Yeah.
You know, so if
It's why we
if-
advertise the book club on our flyer
right,
even.
if you're doing an event that you think is for Oasis, all of Oasis needs to hear about it. And so we need it on all of our socials and all our calendar and all that kind of stuff.
Of course, that's internal organization within Oasis that needs to take care of that. And you and I have talked about that before.
Yeah.
Kind of what he was mentioning, like the whole grassroots, trying to like organize things without having to just be like pre-approved. One of the neat things you guys have is a Discord. I know that's more of like a younger generation's using it more, like I'm 30 something and I've been using it for a while. But after our this is our second time here. Our first time here, you guys mentioned you guys had a Discord. So we got on that, and there's people from all over. It's not just the Houston one. There's people from all the other different areas. But it is a neat way. Discord is a messaging, like a community. So it's a good way for doing something like he's mentioning. We use it. We have a work one that I use that we talk about. We'll plan things. Discord's good for that too, because you can set like a calendar thing. You can do movie nights on Discord, so you don't have to like have a set thing. You can plan though. And again, it does, like they were talking about, it won't reach everyone, but it's a good way for, if people get involved in that, to definitely have some sort of social aspect that's outside of Sunday. That's not necessarily, doesn't have to cost anything. You could do game nights, things like that. You don't even have to meet in person. Or you could plan like a meet for the Houston area. Hey, like I'm gonna go walking tomorrow if anyone wants to meet me, that kind of thing. So, but kind of touch on what he was talking about. It's a free app that, you know, you definitely can get together with people in the Oasis network to plan things.
Yeah, we do have a local like channel within that our Oasis network Discord. Feel free to plan and meet up and talk with people. It just, if we're gonna do an official, like this is an Oasis event, then we do have to be like, gotta run through the channels and we advertise to everybody. But yeah, I'm not banning anyone from talking to each other outside of Oasis. You're allowed to hang out. It's cool.
I think this ties together with what my question is. Does everything ideally, according to the board, I mean, does everything ideally go into and then come out of Facebook for our organization? Is that the consistently uniform spot for me to learn the things that I need to know in order to keep up with stuff?
I think the best way to keep track of the events is to go to our calendar on our website.
Calendar on website.
You can,
Okay.
and you can import that calendar. If you use a calendar function on your phone, which I do, a lot of Google and Apple have those capabilities. I've found it revolutionary. For those of you who still don't know about that, you can like set birthdays and all that, and you can have them repeat every year automatically. Like those of us who grew up with planners, you know, that were like writing everything down and then having to transfer information every year. Like, you don't have to do that. You can set it once and it'll go till somebody dies and you have to take them off. But, you know, so if you import the calendar from our website, all of our events will show up on your calendar, along with little reminders of when, like 2 days ahead or something or whatever, when it's going to happen. If you are on Facebook, you can also look there. We have a Facebook page. We also have a private Facebook group for people who want to, you know, talk amongst each other and, you know, be in community, have discussions on that page. Yeah. We also are on Meetup, which is another app for people to. And the thing about Meetup is, you know, we can put a topic on there. I discovered this the hard way when I set up my bridge group. I put it on Meetup and I put like bridge as the topic or whatever, and I thought it was basically just going out to Oasis people who are interested in bridge. No, it was going out to everybody in the whole Houston area who's interested in bridge.
Bridge at Jennifer's house.
So, which is fine, except that my house can only hold so many people. So Meetup gives us more reach in that. If you know, the marketing, I'm usually putting stuff on Meetup, and Abhishek is too. And so we usually, if there's, like with our Scott Solomon talk, I put some tags in there to hopefully go out to the community at large, so that it won't just go to Oasis people. It will go to anybody interested in space or Mars or whatever. So yeah. But I would say that if you are looking for just Oasis events, the Oasis calendar is the place to start. And then if you want to, you know, if you're on something else and you just want to do it that way, you can do it that way too. But
we try to
But for those of you who are not on Meetup, who are not on much on the socials, the calendar is the best way to go.
Yep. Last question, guys.
I should know the answer to this. When I go to HoustonOasis.org, I don't find any of the stuff y'all are talking about. Where's the calendar? How can I contact somebody? Who's the president? Who's the treasurer? Where is all that?
No, we're not going to Home Depot. Let me see if I can pull this up. This computer's kind of slow. Oh boy. I don't trust.
I've got to explain about the website. I am the first to admit that our website is very clunky. It was developed several years ago, and we actually can do, I think we basically contracted with somebody to develop the website, so we cannot just make changes to the way the website appears. Like, we would have to, you know, find a whole new website designer and for them to make major changes to the website. We have control over what events we put up there and a few other things, but not any major changes to the website. So I realize it's clunky. I'm frustrated with it too, and that is probably something that we, at some point, when we have more money, we will, you know, that's one of the things that we would want to do is get that fixed up.
Or if you're an experienced web developer, reach out.
Yeah, if you know somebody.
No. It's paid. Yeah, it's basically paid off. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to respond to that. There's nothing wrong with the website. It's not clunky. It's fine. We shouldn't spend any money on it. People just need to get on it and use it.
Once you learn it, that's what it'll be. Hold on. I'm trying to find. No, there's nothing hidden in here. Here, let me just move it over there. Oh my gosh, come on, computer.
It's hard to find the calendar because it's on the events tab.
Yeah.
So you have to click on events, and then it has a list of events, and then at the bottom of that list is the calendar.
Scroll all the way down.
It's gonna load. And then you log in and do all your stuff.
Then your calendar will fill up.
With all the events.
Because in addition to your family stuff, you'll have all our stuff.
Okay, come back here. Yeah, let me get the resources loaded up. Hold on. There's a better way to do this. Yeah, for sure. You can look at it. You can scroll through the months even in the widget, like the calendar on the webpage.
You can also just click on, if you're just interested in one event and you want to import that particular event to your calendar, you can do the same thing. You can just go up to the event and there's a way to. I don't know about that. If it's just either one event or the whole thing. So, yeah.
For the Discord, the link tree that was shown earlier, I think that has a link to the Discord, what is it called? Oasis Network Discord. And then it has the individual channels, so you can join the Houston channel as well. But it's very active Discord, so that's great for those that enjoy Discord.
Oh yeah, it's international. Yeah, the workshop will be coming. Resources at the top. Yes, ma'am.
Some kind of welcoming committee or welcoming person that could give new members an orientation to all this stuff. Because I went on and just started browsing around, what's this place about, what's here, what's there, and I found things, but it was not in an organized way, and I don't think I could find it again. So, and I do need to find it again.
Right.
I want to send an email to the social person. Who is that? I mean, to the speaker person.
We
Who is
will
that?
we will aim to add. So on the back of the pamphlet, by the way, there are emails on that list listed there. But we can update the website to at least add those emails under contact. Oh nope, this is just a form. So yeah, we'll find some way to add that there. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea, so I wrote that down, and we'll discuss it, how we could fit that in. Maybe monthly, quarterly, some way of doing an Oasis orientation.
Okay. I think that's all the questions. We are going to wrap up and move to potluck times. Thank you, everybody. I hope this was informative. Reach out to us if you have any more if you think of any questions later on. We will be happy to answer them. And if you're not staying, have a great week, y'all. Thank you so much. Give us a second, and then let's get some of these chairs up, and then we'll roll the tables out.